Howdy y'all. Hope everybody had a great day. Silvertrade here again with your daily AMC and GameStop update. Today we're going to talk about failures to deliver, T35, and a couple other really exciting and interesting things. Right here on GameStop, touch, 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 touch. It's 5 touches. Normally you only need 3 lines for it to be a confirmed line, but please remember none of this is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Please do your own research and due diligence before putting your money into anything. We do this for entertainment purposes only. On the 4 hour on GameStop, we've been stuck in this wedge for a couple of weeks now. Whenever we got out of it, it was pretty explosive. I mean, as you would assume, getting out of a wedge, but we're still in it, and it looks like we're going to be breaking down or breaking up tomorrow. That's when we'll probably get out of that wedge, or maybe it's just a flat day and this wedge means nothing. Who knows? It's GameStop, and this is not financial advice, but I'll tell you, even when we went up to $67 per share and came crashing down to $24, that 24 held. Came up, crashed down, 24. Crash down, crash down. It's been holding very strong, and that hasn't even had to test or touch the 200-day moving average, which is also slowly moving up. And this looks bullish. It's exciting, but this is not financial advice. Don't take it that way. But we're not really going to be messing with the charts too much today. Right here, read this. Second, ETF failures to deliver increase as stock short sellers intend to avoid borrowing costs, blah blah blah, volatility, and lastly, ETF failures to deliver increase is associated with negative short selling. So right here, they're telling you that the banks and the market makers can short a stock through an ETF, and that's why they're able to short a particular company so much without being noticed. Because you might be curious and be like, okay, well, what's the short interest on GameStop? What the heck? Or what's the short volume? You know, like how much is being shorted per day? Like what's the short volume? And you can see it's about 20 million of about 42 million. So only about 50% short volume. And that doesn't make sense because everyone's talking about, how there's all this short volume on GameStop, but it looks like only half of it's short volume. Okay, well, let's check another company like Apple. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. Only about half short volume too, so maybe GameStop's not special or anything. Maybe there is no short volume behind GameStop. Well, let's take a deeper look. Right here, going across, these are the different exchanges, and the short volume per exchange is this decimal right here. And so 0.50, like 0.48 means that, less than half of that volume was short on Apple in this exchange on this day. So less than half, slightly more than half, slightly less than half. Right here, it's the same thing, It goes up sometimes, but most of the time it stays between, the 50s and the 60s because, that's what a normal stock does. Okay, well, let's check it on GameStop. Okay, that's definitely a little bit higher of an average so far. Wow, yeah, it's a little bit higher of an average than Apple, I would say. Those numbers definitely seem to be higher. So I guess you could say short volume is higher on GameStop than it is on Apple, but yeah, look at that. I mean, they're all above 6, and you even have some 8s in there. Saw 0.9 too. But whenever you go to Apple, 0.5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 4, 4, 5, 6. And so we can see that there's a little bit higher volume per exchange on GameStop, but then it doesn't show down here because we still have the same short volume being reported dang near as Apple because it's just half the volume. But GameStop is a part of an ETF called XRT. And this, I think, is where some short volume might be going that's coming from GameStop. But once again, this is not financial advice. This is literally just a dude playing around with a computer and a camera. But look, same thing, really, really high short volume. That was a 0.9. Oh my goodness. I mean, really, really high. Here, not so much. Well, yeah, same thing. I mean, still very, very high. And that's maybe because, that GameStop's part of it. Look, short volume, 500,000. when the total volume was only 700,000. While over here on GameStop, it's only half. And same thing with Apple, it's only half. XRT, it averages a lot higher. Look, this is about 2/3, 3/4 right here. 3/4 short volume. Short volume on the day. Look at this. 900,000 to 1 million. I mean, that is like almost 10, that is 10 times the amount of short volume, dang near. That's 9 times the amount of short volume of buying volume in that one day. Why? Why? Where's all this coming from? Who's betting on it going down so aggressively? But please remember, this is not financial advice, but look at this. I mean, 2/3 of all the volume, and it was a large day. Came just from shorts. I mean, this is strange. And then right here, 1.7 million of 2 million, 1.7 million was short. Huh. I mean, what is the math on that? That is like 7 or 8 times the short volume on this day than the buying volume. So it's being it's being pushed down 8 times harder than it's being bought up. That's insane. That's insane. But please remember, this is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Look at this. This was a crazy day. What is this? 1.6 million of 1.8 million. So about 1/9 was buying, and 8/9 was people betting on it going down. Well, why would this happen on 6/12? What happened on 6/12? Oh, we had a post from Roaring Kitty the night before, 8/15, 11 June. One day before the 12th. One day before the 12th, right here, where we can see that he posted this meme, and it was about a man wearing a cat thing shaking another man's thing wearing a GameStop logo. People got really excited, and so they wanted to make sure that nothing too crazy would happen. But he posted that right here on this night, and then the next day, even though it's just that was only related to quote unquote GameStop, and it wasn't, and this is once again not financial advice, it still saw a whole lot of volume just out of nowhere. And that must have been from the post. But seriously, look at this. 1.6 million short volume, while the total volume was 1.8. I mean, that is insane. And let's not forget, too, way back in the day, Roaring Kitty posted this in 2020, and it took a full 35 days. That's where the T plus 35 comes from, for the actual orders to start going through and for them to start finding shares for them. And that's what actually started to move the price. But this is not financial advice at all. And you can see, he posted, he started getting people excited. They were able to suppress it for about 35 days. But eventually they have to buy those shares. I mean, eventually they have to. But who knows? Who knows? And if he were to retweet or repost a picture of a previous picture that he's already posted, I mean, that would be reason to be very, very excited. But like y'all can see, everything started right here with this tweet. It took a full 35 days for any of that volume to come through, because they can do pretty much whatever they want. They make their own rules. But I really appreciate y'all listening to this rant. I hope you learned something. I hope I earned a like. Thank you so much, and God bless you.